Public parts situates itself within the context of the past 15 years. In this time, we have witnessed a proliferation of platforms that deal with non-specialized occupations in the form of gigs and tasks. In conjunction with the gig economy, the freelancer economy is on the steady rise. Working from home has become commonplace and now universal, particularly in the COVID-19 context. Freelancers and gig workers are typically rent-burdened, living with ubiquitous social housing typologies in major cities. Contrary to typical social housing blocks, our platform is interested in a shared domestic context, similar to the Hutong neighbourhood typology in Beijing, where the furniture and space for domestic life is supported by small communal streets. Automation in the context of task-based work presents two sides of the same coin: tasks that can be automated and tasks that are cheaper not to automate. Through the re-socialization of social housing, gig-based work and automation, Public Parts proposes an AI-managed platform for autonomous communal life. The platform's AI manages the gig-based construction of parts, automated spatial reconfiguration, communal upkeep, and a domestic task pool which operates as a socio-economic infrastructure for the platform. The platform operates as a circular economy with an open call task pool, consisting of both domestic and professional tasks which are picked up by the individuals in the platform in exchange for money. All individuals also do tasks to upkeep the platform at large. The Public Parts app operates like a Tinder for tasks, allowing individuals to set preferences and swipe left and right to accept or reject tasks that appear in the task pool. Imagining a re-socialized life raises crucial domestic questions of what is owned, how and to what degree privacy is achieved, and what remains fixed in a configurable platform for communal life. We address these issues by discretizing and reorienting functions to a set of parts and parcels by which we can organize domesticity. Simple parcels contain an array of recallable domestic items, ranging from personal belongings, communally owned furniture, and personally owned beds. These parcels are housed in large-scale parts, which through the movement of our robots, configure space within the platform. Tenants can walk into a space or talk to our AI via the app to request one. Once in the room, the AI triangulates the tenant's position through Bluetooth beacons and assigns the space to them. After using the space, tenants evaluate it based on 3 criteria: position, relationship, and size. They submit scores that are averaged over time and evaluated by the AI. Over the course of the day, a space may be used and evaluated differently. A bad score average results in local reconfiguration. Pix-to-Pix is a conditional generative adversarial network for image-to-image translations, which is utilized by the platform to identify space between parts. The internal reconfiguration of the building is achieved by defining the parts as machine learning agents that share the same behavior brain. Through reinforcement learning, the agents are trained to receive rewards when correct actions are taken, and penalties when spaces are destroyed. Occupational behavior of tenants is simulated by calling space requests for activities to take place in the building according to the probability to occur in a given time and day, as a way to understand how AI responds to different communities and their routine. This process is repeated through the lifetime of the building, allowing the AI to constantly learn and keep up to date with its inhabitant community. Our platform leverages 2018's council funding, along with existing idle public land. Tenants are supplied with instructions, materials, and machines, and parts are made through distributed gig work. The fabrication sequence of these parts is tasked out by the platform, creating an open call for part assembly, with instruction and access to necessary fabrication technologies. Certain processes are done manually, and others are automated via CNC and 6-axis robots, such as dipping these beams in glue and assembling an inner structural frame. To quickly fasten parts together, post-tension steel cables are inserted and fastened within the blocks to create structural rigidity. These elements form dense cores with shared domestic functions for the platform, such as bathrooms, kitchens, communal herbs for heat, and elevators for key for movement. Elements can also be disassembled and reassembled into different buildings on different sites, as the platform adjusts to different contexts. The distribution of these parts rely on a simple rule-based algorithmic logic, which aggregates them in particular ways to create space and pixelated ornamental structure. The platform's preliminary case study architecture operates at the scale of a multi-family villa, which could host a small population of tenants. However, the ultimate goal is to implement the economic and spatial goals at the scale of a social housing block. Public Parts moves past the typical housing block for community-oriented programs, comprising gardens and reconfigurable space on lower levels of the blocks for education, daycare and cultural events. Tenants could also work within the local storefront in a public parts building, on the community garden in exchange for garden goods or money, or within a platform-owned cafe, restaurant or food co-op. The platform studied various sites to generate a vast array of typologies and organisations at this larger scale. One site in particular became the case study for this larger scale as porous bar block typology with community gardens, platform programs and reconfigurable space. Through various lenses of automation and architecture, Public Parts establishes a spatial and social infrastructure, one in which individuals produce the culture of autonomous communal life, labour and leisure.